Another month, another pickup video. So this is August 2021 with some oddities and a lot of games that I ordered some time ago and have finally arrived. I also should probably end up filming a lot of this stuff more at night. I don't have the light coming through the curtain to distract things. I can use my lighting I use for my streams. It gives me a much more better picture of myself. At least I feel. I don't know. Some people might be scared by me seeing me in this kind of light. But anyway, moving on with the pickups. Some physical stuff, and of course, what's my video without Vita stuff? So we have a couple of those. First up, we have Shin Gundam Mosu, or Muso, or it was called here in the West, Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn. We only got it digitally on the PlayStation 3. The Japan got it physically on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. So I ended up grabbing it because you don't necessarily have to know Japanese to really get into the meat and potatoes of this game. It's just a hack and slash. If you wanted to actually read the story or whatever, then you might need to learn a little bit of Japanese, because there is a lot of talking in the story to this, because it covers just about every Gundam game up to Unicorn, I think. So there's Gundam Seed, all that stuff is in here. There are downloadable characters, which I can't get because I don't have a Japanese PSN account, which included Wing Gundam and a couple others. So I missed out on that, but being that I have it digitally on the PlayStation 3 in the US version, that DLC is also available for that. So I'm not really missing too much, but it's a plus to have it on the go and just kind of kill time and mash buttons. So, and I got it for a really good deal. And this isn't something I really come across very often, so I decided to kind of grab it while I could. And then, of course, we have a Play Asia release for last month, and that is Scourgebringer, which just arrived last week. So I'm, of course, limiting myself to one, if possible, every month, and not going crazy and trying to get all the Play Asia releases. So this, of course, comes with a sticker, original soundtrack, the game, manual, and certificate of authenticity, and a number. So this one I actually have number 256. I think 12 to 1,500 copies of these exist. I don't remember. I know it wasn't very much, because they're getting really low on their copies of Vita games. So I got that. And something that's not necessarily a Vita game, but is Vita related, unofficially, I should say. But a little story on this. There was a guy by the name of Sandeep who goes by Too Old for Gaming on YouTube, and he's done a lot of videos on the PlayStation Vita games and releases. He also released 3 books on the life of the PlayStation Vita, which I've shown in the past videos. He will be doing a Kickstarter for the hardcover version, which includes all 3 volumes of that. So looking forward to that. I love the work that he's done. But essentially, he's made one set of unofficial manuals for 4 different games for the Vita that didn't originally come with manuals. And again, that's something I've shown off in the past. And on Twitter, he was saying, hey, if people want samples of this, I have some to send out. So I volunteered, and my original plan was to do a kind of a review video for Megavisions, and I had it all filmed, all complete. I had some editing done on it. I just needed to get it approved and have an intro added to it for Megavisions. Unfortunately, it took too long, and people were just busy, so it didn't get finalized. I did share the raw video I had with Sandeep, and he enjoyed it. I only had one criticism, and all that was is I would like to see notes in the back of these manuals, kind of like what they had on the Genesis, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo manuals back in the day. But in these, he's included like concept artwork, how to play the game, some tips, some character bios. So he's really packed a lot of information. Most of it that he's had in the books that he self-published and wrote. So I thought that was really neat. But here's the sample one that I got from him, which includes Dragon Crown and Unit 13. These are not the complete manuals themselves, just kind of a little bit of a sample on what's inside of them. So it's very limited and pretty thick too. They're made on silk paper, so it's really nice quality. The images are very nicely done. I mean, they're crystal clear, and the fact that every cover has kind of like the silhouette of a character from the game on it, I thought was really cool. The other reason I didn't release that video I did publicly was because about 5 days after I had finished it and everything, he announced that he was releasing Set 2. So I jumped on pre-ordering that. I wasn't sure when it was going to arrive. It actually arrived a couple weeks ago. So he's got set 4, and I think some are still available on his website, which is tooOldForGaming.com. I'll try to have a link for that in the description below if people are interested in that. But the 4, of course, we have the full Dragon's Crown version. And this has got something like 54, 58 pages on it, and it's jam-packed with stuff. So, of course, on the inside, we have an image with all the contents on there. There you go, camera will focus nicely. So you can see there's quite a bit. Looks like history here at the very end has 48 pages. And then in the credits, it's actually 54. But the fact that he's like included extra tips and everything for the game itself, and some really nice art on the side. I love the fact that he's even got full page artwork included in here. Let's see if I can actually find one. There was one here. I flipped through it. Yeah, here we go. So he's got one page dedicated to art, and then you have campfire meals explanation there on the other page. And then we've got town locations and all that stuff. And this is just for Dragon's Crown itself. Some really nice stuff. I love the artwork and the work he's put into these, making these unofficial manuals for games that never originally had them. So, oh, here we go. On the back side, he even has unofficial fan-made, and then his website there. If the camera will focus. Not really. You can kind of see it. TooOldForGaming.com. Stupid camera. It's probably not going to focus on that. Oh. So, there's Dragon's Crown. We also have, of course, the finished version of Unit 13. Little Big Planet. Killzone Mercenary. And probably one of my favorites, Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. So, of course, none of the console versions that I'm aware of actually came with manuals. And he's got this one for the Vita done. So, of course, here we have a nice image of Adolf Christensen there on the side. And then we have character bios. So there's Dana and Adolf again. Some really nice artwork. I love how it turned out. So super excited. So if that's something of interest, definitely grab those, because as with Set 1, once he's sold out, he doesn't have plans of reprinting more unless demand is really there for it. So if that's of something of interest and you have some of these Vita games sitting around on a shelf somewhere, check out these manuals. Well worth it, and they're pretty affordable. I mean, they're cheap compared to some of the stuff that's out there. So some cool stuff. Moving on from that, a couple things I didn't expect that I was super happy to find, though. Last month, back at the Chicago Video Game Summit, I was eyeing some King of Fighter games for the Dreamcast, and I always had in the back of mind, I want to get these games. I looked at actually buying them online and everything, and I held off because I was like, the convention prices, of course, were a lot higher than I was willing to pay, and I could get them about $10 cheaper online. Of course, that doesn't include shipping. So you throw shipping on top, and it kind of evens out in a sense. But then my local store actually came across these, and I'm sure that they had more imports, because I did find 18-wheeler import on the shelf. So I'm sure some collector came in and just ended up selling his import collection to them. I'm sure there was more games. I couldn't find any more. But with that place, the employees always get first dibs on anything that comes in. So I'm sure a couple of their employees ended up grabbing some. So I have a feeling there's a lot more, because I can't believe that somebody would have 18-wheeler and these two King of Fighter games and not have anything else imported. So I ended up grabbing King of Fighters 2000, because we never got this in the West. This is a much later release in Japan on the Dreamcast. And then I also got King of Fighters 2001. And I love the art on these, even on the inside for this one in particular. So you have Kula there on the disc, and then on the inside you have K hanging out there. So I thought that was really cool, and the prices were a heck of a lot better than even online, so I saved some money that way, and I didn't have to pay for shipping, which is really nice. Of course, the last King of Fighters game on the Dreamcast was 2002, which I'm not really actively looking for, so I'm hoping that at some point I'll come across those randomly, like I did these games. But always looking forward to finding some more import Dreamcast, especially fighting games. That's my preferred genre. I just enjoy them, even though they can be frustrating. And it's hard to find people that will actually play against me on these. And there's no online play, so it's only local. Anyway, moving on from that, I ended up getting the... This is another one that I waited a long time for. Almost feels like it's been 6 months for this thing since it was announced. But I got the original soundtrack to Panzer Dragoon Remake. Really looking forward to listening to this. I've held off on playing the Switch version that I picked up some time ago from Limited Run, especially since once I found out the PlayStation 4 version was coming. So they released the soundtrack, and I will be ripping this and adding it to my digital songs to play while I'm at work. And of course, along that also spoils too that I did get the physical PS4 version, and it came with this extra art. So here's the front cover of the PS4, some stuff on the other side that would be on the back, and then it has reversible stuff, which looks very much like the original release on the Sega Saturn. So it even says Sega Saturn here on the spine, which I think is awesome. It looks very much like the original release, except for the fact that it has limited run here at the top. But otherwise, it looks almost identical, except for like the extra Sega stuff and the logo and everything that you would normally find here. So it's not exactly the same, but pretty darn close. In fact, here's the physical version of Panzer Dragoon Remake with that cover art and on the back side. And I did get the collector's edition, so it came with the Sega Saturn case with the... this is super close to the original. I wish I had taken a picture of the original Saturn version with this side by side, just to, out of curiosity. I'll probably do that after the video. But I don't think there's anything in here. It doesn't feel like it. It's probably just the manual itself in the case and then the back art. I think this is super cool. I really need to find some more Saturn cases to replace some of the cracked ones I have, because I've got quite a lot of them. They're very brittle. This one feels... squeaks. It feels about the same as those cases, but it's brand new, so hopefully it'll last a little bit longer. Sticking with the PlayStation 4 releases, I also picked up a copy of Guilty Gear Strive. I love the Guilty Gear series. I have a little bit of a Guilty Gear game collection, both on console and arcade, going along here. And this is the latest release, just released I think like 2 months ago, but I couldn't believe how hard this game is becoming to find in stores. Like, none of the stores near me had them in stock. Not Walmart, not Target, not Best Buy. So I resorted to buying it online. And Best Buy had a free next day shipping. So, of course, I bought this yesterday, and it arrived today, which is really nice. So looking forward to jumping into this. I've actually already opened the game. I haven't loaded in my PS4 yet because I was going to do this video recording. But hoping I can get some time tonight before bed that I can maybe play a few rounds of the story, arcade story mode, and kind of go through that, because some interesting stuff happens in this that I'm aware of, and I'm looking forward to continuing. As crazy as the story is, not as nuts as Blaze Blue, but it's pretty up there for some really weird story stuff going on here. But it's a fun game, and the fact that my main girl, Milia, is back in here. And I've heard a lot of good things about Jacko, who just dropped as DLC. So I'm hoping to get some of that and jump into that thing. So, and last on PS4, and another long-awaited limited run release that everybody's been getting this month, we have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game Complete Edition. And I'm not sure what convinced me to get this version and not just the basic game itself, because I have been holding off on trying to get collector's editions as much as possible, and I totally failed with Panzer Dragoon and this. But inside here is the game, some stickers, a poster, and the soundtrack. So it comes in this nifty-looking Genesis-type clamshell, which is still much larger. Actually, I would almost say it's in between a Neo Geo shock box and a Genesis game. So, but I like the fact that it is a nice clamshell, so that'll hold together nicely and last a very long time. And of course, we have the collector card that came with that. I'm not sure what happened with the Panzer Dragoon one, but I had it here somewhere. So that's it for physical games. Some game-related items I did pick up was this. I actually found on Twitter through Sega Forever, and they were advertising that they've teamed up with a site called AppMex, who make commemorative coins, and they're like legit currency that you can actually spend on this island of Niue, N-I-U-E. But they've done collective coins of like Pokemon, a bunch of Disney stuff, and I don't know why my phone's going off. Um, and then they're teaming up with Sega to do this 30th anniversary for Sonic. So they have both colored coins and silver coins, and at face value, all these coins are worth $2. So you could go to the island and you could use it as a $2 bill for whatever, basically. But it's 1 ounce of 0.999 silver, so it is legit silver. And I got the colorized one of Tails just because I thought it was super cute. They do have Sonic, Knuckles, and Robotnik available. In the color, these are limited to 3,000 pieces. They come in you can get them, well, this one in particular, you can only get in the plastic container. The plain silver one, which just has Sonic on it, you can get without this, and it's much cheaper. These were not cheap by any means to get, especially since they're collector items, but we have Tails on the front, and then on the back side of all these, they actually, I don't know if this is going to focus at all because it's so shiny on the plastic, but it has the shield of the island new there, and kind of the palm trees and some rings around it, kind of symbolizing Green Hill Zone from Sonic. It says the $2, and on the front of it has the 30th anniversary. But I'm not sure if I'll pick up more of these just because of the cost of them, but I definitely wanted to at least get one for myself. I do have a 25th anniversary coin that I got some years ago for that, so I thought it'd be nice. That one has Sonic on it, this one's got Tails. Again, I don't know if I'll be getting more or not, but I just thought it was something really cool to have. So that'll go in my little Sonic collection. And the thing that you're probably seeing beside me over here, Galloping Ghost had their first swap meet since this whole mess thing going on started. And so I decided, well, I have that Saturday off, I might as well go. I'd never been before. So I went to check it out. It was kind of underwhelming. They only had maybe 6 dealers. Most of it was console games, some import stuff. But in the corner was the owner of Prince Arcades in Bolingbrook, Illinois. And I'd never been to Prince Arcades before, so I got a chance to talk with the owner. Really awesome guy to talk with. He was the only one that was actually selling arcade parts. He even had a full Naomi set with Spawn in the Demon Hand game, which was very tempting, but I don't have the setup to run Naomi games, unfortunately. Most of my stuff will only run JAMA stuff. So it was kind of a bummer. I would love to get my hands on a Naomi system at some point if I ever get a candy cab. That would be kind of a holy grail for me. Always wanted a candy cab. But this thing did catch my eye, and that is, of course, he had a pretty decent shape of X-Men vs. Street Fighter Marquee, which is part of the Capcom CPS2 system, which I do have a couple boards for that. I have Darkstalkers and Marvel vs. Capcom. One day I hope to have this game to go with that, but we'll see. I may break down and just have to do the Darksoft mod on it, so that way I have all the games on one cartridge, just sacrifice one of those boards, which I really hate to do. I hate sacrificing something just to get everything. But I just thought it was really cool. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. It's going to kind of sit next to my Darkstalkers one for a while, until I figure out exactly what I'm going to do. Ideally, I would like to make a custom shadow box for these things, put some LEDs in it, and then set those marquees inside of them, and then hang them on my wall. I think that would be kind of a cool idea. But we'll see. That'll be a project I may do down the line or something. But that's it for this month. Some pretty crazy, cool stuff. Something of interest. But we'll see what next month brings. I've been coming along. A lot of new releases coming out soon. I'm looking forward to getting Lost Judgment, the sequel to, or prequel, I should say, to Judgment, or Judgment Eyes, a spin-off of the Yakuza series, and a couple of other things coming at the end of the year, too, I'm excited for, that I'm going to try to jump on. But we'll see if that happens. But that's it for now. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.